What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another Back for Blood deck build video, and today we've got the Crouching Tiger 2.0. Now, I wanted to change it up a bit. Previously, I did a video on this as being an LMG hipfire build. It was a lot of fun, was able to utilize that down in front for no friendly fire, clear out those common infected inside of, or surrounding some of your teammates without dealing any damage to them or downing them possibly. And back then it could only be viable inside a veteran, but now we can move it into Nightmare, and I changed it up a bit. I wanted to do something a little bit more fun, and I just wanted to dual wield LMGs with this build. M249s to be specific, and it is by far my favorite deck in the game. It's a heavy hitter. Now, you will need to utilize hitting those weak spots when it comes to tall boys, because dropping ammunition straight into a tall boy without hitting that weak spot for whatever reason, I mean, they have a serious health bar and they're just not going down as quick as you want them to. But if you're pairing this with a nice or a solid healer deck and somebody that's using that sniper DPS deck, this is going to be an excellent and very viable deck to move in through Nightmare with. You'll be able to clear out those common infected, any of those hordes coming your way, and be able to lay down that serious damage when it comes to any of those special infected, and try to hone in on that weak spot when it comes to the tall boys. And make sure that you move away, because you're not going to have that much mobility when it comes to crouching, but we'll get into that while we get into the deck. If you'd like to copy and paste this deck, obviously, I'll have it listed down in the description below in order by name, but we're starting off with 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Immediately giving us that ability to have 2 primary weapons. We want those dual wield LMGs, and a great thing about the burn cards right now is you'll be able to use that burn card that gives you an LMG, and since there's only 2 in the game, you've got that 50-50 chance to get that M249. Now, when it comes to the RPK, in the beginning, we won't be disabling the ADS just yet, so that won't be a hindrance for you, but when it comes to the later portion of the deck, when we do disable the ADS, the RPK is not going to be that hipfire machine. We do not have enough accuracy with this, but for whatever reason, the M249 is going to be perfectly capable with this. Don't know how the difference is that large. It's crazy how close you have to be to utilize that RPK compared to that M249. I mean, you could be long shotting everybody with the M249. But right after that, we've got down in front. I know a lot of people like this card, and for obvious reasons. And, you know, with playing with a bunch of randoms recently, I have been taking some friendly fire, and this really helps out a lot, as well as not being able to down your teammates when trying to clear those common infected around them as well. Especially with this LMG, you're just going to be laying waste to anything around them. Be able to protect them in certain moments when they need to either carry something or possibly even protecting something, or in that one mission inside of Act 2 where you need to attach the crates to the helicopter. It's going to be perfect for those moments to be able to hold them down without them having to worry about those common infected attacking them while they're taking those ropes onto the container. But after that, we've got Hunker down. While crouching, we're going to gain that 10% damage resistance, as well as gaining that 40% accuracy. That's going to give us a huge help when it comes to just utilizing that hipfire later on, especially with these LMGs. But right after that, we've got hyper focused. We're getting that 50% weak spot damage, and since we're already crouching with this build, that movement speed while shooting is not going to be a hindrance to us. We're going to be able to just kind of stick and move. You will need to move about. You don't want to get surrounded by some of those common infected. They are going to be fairly deadly, but in some cases, you will be able to just completely clear them, just circle firing all around you. Now, right after that, we get MEATGRINGER, which gives us the 30% move speed and accuracy while crouched with an LMG. This is going to help us out a lot, especially with that M249, and giving us that accuracy for the hipfire build, as well as giving us a little bit more mobility when it comes to crouching, but it's not that big a difference, so you're still going to need to utilize that stick and move. But when it comes down to holding a certain position or holding out in certain missions, especially at the diner, you're going to be able to hold it out. You're going to be able to lay down enough fire to lay out anything that's coming your way. Nothing's going to stop you in that moment. But right after that, we've got guns out. We've already taken a hit to our swap speed, so we're going to need that 50% weapon swap speed, especially with the LMGs. We'll take a hit to our damage resistance, but we've already got a bit when it comes down to hunker down. Now, that being said, in the beginning, if you don't find that other LMG, or if you don't have that burn card, you could utilize just about any weapon to dual wield with. Maybe possibly you don't want to go for the dual LMG, feel like you're running out of ammo too much in the beginning. It could be a good idea to switch over to an SMG as your secondary. You're still going to be just as deadly. We're going to have that amplified damage from this, and we'll still be able to ADS by this point. So it's not going to be a huge hindrance for us. But right after that, we've got Tactical Miss. We're getting that 30% rifle ammo capacity and 10% damage with assault rifles and LMGs by this point. You know, if you haven't found that second LMG already, if you don't have enough burn cards to get that second one, you could utilize a different AR as well. Just amplify that damage, switching out weapons, because right after that, we've gone for admin reload. And this is going to give us just unlimited gunfire when it comes to that dual wield with LMGs. Every time we're running low on ammo or deplete it, immediately switch to the other one. And if you have those dual LMGs with the extended mag, 120 rounds on both of those M249s, I mean, you've just got enough to lay out anything in front of you, dropping anything that's going to be coming against your team. It's a ton of fun, and you'll just be lighting up the whole screen. Now, right after that, we've got Confident Killer. When you or your team kill a mutation, gain 1% damage all the way up to 15% until the end of the level. Now, specifically, I utilized Carly for this deck because she has the 2 quick slots straight off the bat, which is going to be the one that you'll utilize for your ammo crates. Now, if you do upgrade the quick slot, that means each of those ammo crates is going to give you an additional 50% or cap you off at 50% of your total ammo supply. That's going to be more than enough in any of those moments when you're kind of getting low, or possibly none of your other teammates have any more ammo. It's one of those moments. Where was I going with this? Completely lost my train of thought. The big thing about this card, if you can't play Carly or possibly Hoffman, maybe somebody's taken both of those when you're playing in randoms, and if you have to choose somebody else and you don't want to have to wait around until you get that extra quick slot from one of the team upgrades, maybe the team isn't doing that great, randoms can't always be as reliable as you want them to. But if that's the case, I would take out Confident Killer and add one of the utility slots from one of the new cards if you have that available. If not, I'd probably just go for the available or the ability to get that team upgrade to have an additional quick slot, or just upgrade that and having only one of them with that 50% when it comes to the ammunition box. It's going to be more than enough in most instances. And just make sure that nobody else is eating into that AR ammo, and if they are, you better get to that ammo crate yourself first. Well, right after that, we've got Motorcycle Helmet. This is when we're going to completely disable our ADS and go 100% hip fire. We're getting that 15% damage resistance along with some health. And right after that, we've got Ammo Mule. This is going to really increase the amount of ammunition we can hold. I think it was it's close to up to almost 700 or 800 rounds when it comes to the AR ammunition. Now, we will take a hit to our move speed on this, but we can mitigate that with a different stock on our weapon. Since we've already got guns out, we can utilize the stock that gives us additional move speed, and that's going to mitigate this issue if you have that problem later on. Now, right after that, we've got Shredder. We're getting another 15% damage since we're just unloading ammunition in this. We're not even needing to reload. Every target you're going to come up against is going to make that max stack of 15% damage, just unloading each of those LMGs into anything you see. And right after that, we're getting Killer Instinct for another 30% of that weak spot damage at this point. We're all the way up at 80% on weak spot damage. You are going to be melting things, ogres, breakers. Now, it won't be exactly the fastest when it comes to the ogre, considering it is a bit tricky to utilize that hip fire against their shoulder pieces, but you'll be able to melt them still fairly quickly and at a gradual rate with how much damage we already have with this already. And right after that, we've got silver bullets. We're getting an additional 10% bullet damage and effective bullet range with this. Sometimes that special infected's quite a distance away, possibly a hawker, things of that nature. And since we're utilizing hipfire, not all of our bullets are immediately going to hit that target. Maybe you can't really adjust your hipfire aim quite that well. Would be a good idea to possibly change up the crosshair to a dot so you can have the most precise aim that you could possibly think of that you'd need to utilize that hipfire with. And then right after that, we've got 25% damage from glass cannon. Now, by the end of it, this is when we're going to take the largest hit to our health. This is especially when you're going to need a healer, and this is one of those moments. As soon as you put this card on, you do not want to have all those common infected surrounding you. You kind of want to put yourself in a corner and be able to kind of funnel all those common infected towards you and be able to take those out and not let them get behind you. Even with our damage resistance and the amount of health that we've gained from other cards, taking this 30% hit, it can be very problematic. And as soon as you get surrounded by those common infected while crouching, it is going to be a huge hindrance on you. You're not going to be able to move out unless you completely clear everything around you, and you'll more than likely die before getting out of there. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Always make an escape plan for possibly going to some type of corner or utilizing some type of building, because if you can hold a door, or if you can find yourself just holding a doorway, one entrance for yourself, you're going to be able to take out anything that's trying to get in towards you and taking them out before they can deal maximum amount of damage. Now, when it comes to tall boys, that's one of those moments that's going to be problematic, or possibly a wretch. Anything else I haven't had an issue with. But if you are closing yourself into a room, make sure that you've got more than just yourself applying that DPS to make sure you can take care of any of those threats trying to push in that would be problematic up close, especially that tall boy. He'll just start crushing everybody in that room, and if you can't take him out, that could be a failed run right there. But like I said before, this is more of a fun deck. It can be viable if you're pairing this with that sniper DPS deck and a healer deck. Overall, it's just one of those best LMGs that's just more for the fun side of things. It can be viable, but at the end of the day, it's all about the fun in this. And you will be able to push on with this. There may be some problematic moments with that crouching, since you can't really have that mobility. Say somebody hits those birds or calls in a horde somehow, and you get surrounded. That could be the end of you right there. So that's just one thing to note about this deck. But at the end of the day, it's just an absolute good time. It's my favorite deck by far out of the entire game. And if you don't want to utilize the dual LMGs, like I said before, you could utilize a different AR, or you could take that card out altogether. Just try to utilize this as one LMG for that hipfire, and just use whatever secondary there is. Especially if you're using Hoffman, that could be a good idea to kind of kill some of those common infected with his secondary to gain that additional drop chance for ammunition. Could be beneficial to you. And at that same point, if you took that card out, you could add in something for an offensive slot. A lot of times, I'd say always carry a pipe bomb for those moments when you possibly get surrounded by that common infected. In those moments, if you can throw that, deflect everything away from you, focus in on the special infected, and then clear any of the common ridden that are starting to lurk around, and then turn around to come back right at you, or the rest of your team at that same point. But since we're able to utilize that down in front, no friendly fire, you're going to be able to help them out a ton with this, especially if they get surrounded. You'll just be able to light them up, completely protect them, hopefully in time before they go down, by the time they're already surrounded. But that's going to be the deck right there. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about this deck, or maybe some changes you'd like to see to it, or possibly some cards that you'd like to rearrange, or different ideas for any decks that you'd like to see inside of Nightmare as well, something of a meme deck or that's fun like this. I know somebody's already talked about trying to make like some type of tank build that's just willing to take any damage and just eat through everything. I'll be working on that in the next couple of days, as well as some more Nightmare decks as well. But if you'd like to, let me know down in the comments if there's any questions like that, or follow me over at Twitch. I'll have the link down in the description. Pick my brain over there, or just come and enjoy the show yourself if you'd like to do that. But on that note, we'll get straight into the gameplay. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a good one. And happy holidays. Time to make it count.
Another day, another dice with death. Get back! Need this. Over there. Hag. Yeah, I'd rather be somewhere else.
Let's get some.
Everything's off. I can feel it.
Oh shit, he's going off already. Yeah, precisely.
Let's be going.
Okay. No, I wanted this to be the gameplay footage. Hopefully it still is.
Look there. What the fuck? That was an accident. I swear, it was an accident.
Okay, done.
And it never runs out of bullets.
We are running out of ammo fairly quickly. Ooh,
Mine.
beautiful. That's right, we got a bot. Infinite ammo. Why can I not shoot right now? There we go. Wait, that one's just pondering its dreams in life. Well, till he got a whiff.
Checking the car. All clear.
See that?
Where it all went wrong. He'll never know.
There's that much blood on you.
Checking the car.
But now he's laid to rest. Another soul to the collection.
Down, boy. Well, this is grim. Yes, one major league badass here.
I mean, sure, why not? I'll take it if nobody's grabbing it.
Need to reload.
Well, look before you move.
Yeah, we gotta get that weak spot for it to be super effective.
Machine gun.
Charlie, this is no place to be walking around.
Another one? Yeah. What is it? Is it blue?
More.
How did this happen? Everything's fine, and then this is the new normal.
Ah, but it's gonna make me
Fine.
slow.
Yeah, the 1% really came through for us.
Get it. We're taking it. Ooh, oh god. Ah. Hold on. Mobility is not helping me.
Yeah, there's gonna warm
I
up.
appreciate it,
I'm
Jim.
good.
Don't shoot the noisy boy. Revolver. Cruiser there. She's gone.
That was a good shot.
You guys want this? That's here.
Yeah, this mission is looking up. Generally, by this time, I'll have the dual ammo stash. And if you upgrade that quick slot, it's 50% of your ammo each time. And I've already increased the ammo supply by, what is it, 105%? I probably should have been shooting right then, but bot Jim, he just wanders his... He just gets himself into very sticky situations.
Over there.
Do you need me to hit that? That didn't work out quite well.
Look,
Trouble ahead. I can sense it.
nice. And to think I wanted to fight like no, that's a lie.
Did that hurt?
Now if I can get the 120 round mags, oh, this would be perfect.
Clearing a path.
Mine now.
That's right, bot gem's gone. Yeah, I probably need to use this.
Covered in this shit.
You shot me.
Charlie! Wanna actually shoot the bad guys?
What have we here?
Excuse me!
Yeah, something more than that 3% or 2% chance.
They'll be back. They always come back.
So I feel that's kind of lackluster. Like if it was a 10% chance, I might be more interested to do so. But when it says 3%, and you think about how many times people are utilizing this secondary to kill some of these,
Company.
Need that.
it's just not really a benefit compared to other cards that'll give you so much more.
What are we gonna do with you?
Like the melee one makes sense to me. Like that 3% chance. I mean, you're always using that to kill common ridden. So that plus a possibility of a razor wire is pretty beneficial, especially on certain areas of the campaign. Uh-oh.
Do I look like a worm face? They're everywhere.
Did Jim die again?